Once upon a time, in a New York City, there lived a woman named Isabella. She was known far and wide for her beauty, wit, and charm. Married to a wealthy businessman named Alexander, Isabella led a life of luxury and privilege, surrounded by all the trappings of success. Yet, beneath the facade of happiness, Isabella harbored a secret that gnawed at her soul like a festering wound. It began innocently enough with a chance encounter one fateful evening at a lavish gala. Across a crowded room, Isabella's eyes met those of a charismatic stranger named Lucien. From that moment on, Isabella found herself drawn to Lucien like a moth to a flame. His words were like honeyed poison, dripping with promises of passion and excitement that she had never known. In his arms, she felt alive in a way she had never felt with Alexander, her husband. As weeks turned into months, Isabella's infatuation with Lucien grew into an obsession. She began to neglect her duties as a wife and mother, spending her days in a whirlwind of clandestine rendezvous with her lover. With each stolen moment, Isabella felt herself slipping further and further away from the life she had once known. Driven by her desire for more, Isabella made a fateful decision that would change the course of her life forever. In a moment of weakness, she sold her conscience to the highest bidder, exchanging her morals for the fleeting ecstasy of passion and desire. With her newfound wealth, Isabella indulged in every whim and fancy, heedless of the consequences that awaited her. She lavished gifts upon Lucien, showering him with affection and adoration in a desperate bid to keep him by her side. But even as she poured her heart and soul into their affair, Isabella could sense the cracks beginning to form in the facade of their love. Meanwhile, Alexander grew suspicious of his wife's sudden change in behavior, his once loving gaze now clouded with doubt and mistrust. He confronted Isabella, demanding answers to questions that she could not bear to face. In a moment of desperation, she lashed out, hurling accusations and lies in a futile attempt to protect her fragile illusion of happiness. But the truth has a way of unraveling even the most carefully constructed lies, and soon Alexander discovered the extent of Isabella's betrayal. Heartbroken and betrayed, he turned his back on her, leaving Isabella to face the consequences of her actions alone. With her marriage in ruins and her lover's affections waning, Isabella found herself adrift in a sea of regret and remorse. She had sacrificed everything she held dear for a fleeting moment of pleasure, only to find herself hollow and empty inside. In the end, Isabella was left to ponder the true cost of her choices as she wandered alone through the wreckage of her shattered dreams. And as she gazed out upon the vast expanse of the sea, she realized that true happiness could never be bought or sold. It could only be found within the depths of her own heart.